We have finally come to the end of ARTFIGHT. I know it kind of feels like ARTFIGHT was forever ago, but there is still a bunch of beautiful art and fun character designs to be shared from the second half of last week, so for the very last time this year, I bring you 5 beautiful designs to close off this year's fantastic run of characters. We are starting this round of characters off so strong with CRYPTID's character Thea, and even though this is probably one of my favorite drawings that I've made this year, it doesn't even come close to comparing to the art of Fing that CRYPTID made for me. I look at this drawing so often, and every time it makes me go, ah! Thea is a harpy and a modern-day Valkyrie, so as per Nordic mythology and traditions, she's one of the people responsible for guiding souls of the deceased to Valhalla, so long as they are deemed worthy of entering. Despite having a pretty grave and soul-sucking job, Thea remains infinitely joyous, feisty, and energetic, almost a little disconcertingly joyous and silly in the face of misery and anguish as she struggles to feel sympathy to those who have lost their lives. CRYPTID continues to describe Thea as a feathery idiot as well as an infinite pool of energy, which I love the character concept of a feathery idiot, and an infinite pool of energy is something I wish I had. On one hand, as a huge introvert that is very easily socially overwhelmed, I would probably simply pass away if I were put in the same room as Thea, but on the other hand, as a character, I find her so endearing, with her messy hair and her fluffy wings, and of course her goofy toothy grin, because so very consistently I'm once again laser focused on characters' teeth, which, fun fact, my mom is a dental hygienist, so I guess the apple really doesn't fall too far from the tree. Now, unfortunately, this is the only character that I fully render for the second half of ARTFIGHT week 5. Turns out exhaustion do be getting to me, plus other things in life have very suddenly picked up without warning, so I do apologize for that, but I hope you still enjoy seeing the various characters, and I hope despite me not finishing ARTFIGHT as strongly as I started, that you still show all the artists in this video just as much love and appreciation as you have in my other videos. Also, speaking of giving the artist love and appreciation, I just wanted to show off CRYPTID's other drawing of Thea that he made, with the inverted colors and the shattered glass and the use of high contrast and very saturated colors. It's just so beautiful. I have no idea if this was a stylistic art decision or like if this is like Super Saiyan Thea. Either way, it's amazing and I am so here for it. It also very heavily influenced the decision I made for the background of the image, because obviously all of my drawings are very sped up. You don't get to see a lot of the process of fun background things and me testing stuff out, like multiply gradients and highlights, because that all happens in like the last 15 to 20 minutes of me working on a piece. And in this piece, I ended up duplicating my drawing of Thea, inverting it, and then creating repeating Theas to look like, well, if you've ever watched Hunter x Hunter and seen Killua do his like rhythm echo thing, kind of like that. It was just a very easy but effective way to create a super fun and kind of unique background, while also creating more contrast to bring focus to the main character in the composition. And I'm saying things like that like I know what I'm doing, but I don't. I was literally just messing around with filter adjustment settings and then was like, wow, that looks good. But with that, we are at the end of drawing number 1, Thea for CRYPTID. Absolutely loved working on this one, and I think it makes sense that my first drawing for the first video of this year of ARTFIGHT was an orange-brown winged person, and now my first drawing in the last video of ARTFIGHT is also an orange-brown winged person. But thank you again to CRYPTID. I highly recommend you follow them. They have such a beautiful art style, and it's really easy to find his socials because I will link ARTFIGHT, Kara, Twitter, and Toy House all below. Drawing number 2 was just a combination of a bunch of really nice and wholesome things. Also, very surprisingly, was not a humanoid at all. So this is Pandas' character Kami. She's a little mixture of cat and koi fish, and not only did Pandas make this very adorable drawing, she also makes physical customized littlest pet shop characters. Their Instagram is actually completely dedicated to this craft, which of course will be with the rest of their links below, but they have such a gorgeous collection of customs. Doll customization is something that I have loved watching for years and years, but for all the different types of art mediums that I do tend to full send, regardless of my experience with them, doll customization is one that I personally have such anxiety to even try. It feels like there's such a learning curve to work on a canvas that isn't flat. I don't like hand stitching clothing, and also I don't have very steady hands, which is not super ideal for doll customization, so that all increases the anxiety, which is right next to my general unwillingness to try something new unless it's something that I feel like I will start out moderately good at, which is also very much the reason why it takes a lot of begging and encouragement from people to get me to participate in sports, multiplayer video games, or board games. This is just a really, really long tangent off the fact that I have such a strong admiration for anyone willing to take up doll customization, as it's a very, very daunting task in my eyes. So of course I am drawing this in my own style, which is just ever so slightly less stylized than traditional Littlest Pet Shop art is, and this piece has so many layers of things that make me very happy in it. Of course, the most obvious is Littlest Pet Shop as a whole, because it's a toy from my childhood. I love those things. This drawing is also very reminiscent of my very, very first ARTFIGHT piece that I ever made of a mermaid and her crab friend. So drawing a new ocean-faring creature brought back a lot of early ARTFIGHT memories, which is really nice. Also, if you've been watching some of my non-speed draw videos, you know that I am a very proud bank account of 2 spoiled cats. One that is just the most orange of boys, and one that is a very nervous but sweet boy. And Pandas' character Kami is sort of a mix between the patterns and colorations that the two of them have. And also, my partner and I have had several fish and aquariums together. We did have a couple of beta fish as well, my most recent beta being Noodles, which I think I've mentioned in a previous video. Noodles was a koi beta that I nursed back to health from fin rot that he had at the aquarium store I got him from. He did end up passing away about a year and a half later, just a couple months ago, as a result of tumors that unfortunately we couldn't really do anything about. But unfortunately, due to poor breeding practices, betas do tend to not be particularly healthy fish, and this is a very sad and depressing thing to be talking about. I apologize, but this drawing did feel like a little homage to Noodles, which at the end of the day was nice for me, for myself, because I don't know, I really needed something like that. And that is such a sentimental and kind of bittersweet note to end this section of the video on, but here is Kami. Actually, I should have verified her name is Kami and not Cami. It's probably Cami. I do apologize if my 50-50 guess was wrong. Still, it was an absolute pleasure to draw her either way. So thank you so much to Pandas for the character design and also the adorable Fing art that this was a revenge for in the first place. If you would like to see more of doll customizations, like I said, I've put the links to everything in the description. Alright, so now I must be honest. The 3 remaining drawings in this video were not made within the confined time limit of ARTFIGHT. They were made after the fact, partially because I didn't get as many drawings in and I felt bad dropping from 7 to like 3 for one video, but also because I was really looking forward to drawing these character designs, but since I was trying to be fair and revenging pieces in order, I knew that I wouldn't be able to get to these characters in time. So, you know, once again, I'm telling lies on the internet. This is not an ARTFIGHT video. This is, man, these artists out here really be making art for me, expecting nothing in return. And they deserve better from me, and I'm sorry. So this piece is for eridanimidna of her original character Grimeia, a tiefling fighter, and this is a thank you for not only her beautiful art of Cleo, but also her long-standing support of me and my channel and my Instagram, which I always forget to post on. Literally, she is always there on my posts, commenting on my art. Genuinely such a kind soul, and also a deeply, deeply underrated artist. I say in my videos that I've been inspired by the Monster High art, and if you're a fan of my work because I say that, you are going to fall head over heels for eridanimidna's work, because even more so, they're able to balance that creepy, cute fashion, maximum accessory, vibrant color aspect of the Monster High art style that unfortunately just yeeted itself out of my own art style. The fact that eridanimidna only got 3 attacks this year is a prime with how gorgeous their lineup of characters was. The only reason I did end up choosing Grimeia in the end was because Grimeia had no attacks. Like, I have to show off all 4 of the characters listed on the ARTFIGHT page, because tell me how I was supposed to decide based on my own wants when the options look like this. Now, hey, listen, are you paying attention? Because you should be. Are you sad that you only just found out Tritania existed after ARTFIGHT was over? Are you also only motivated to make art based on the impending doom of a deadline looming over you? Do you miss the adrenaline rush that ARTFIGHT brought you? And do you have an Instagram? Well, I have good news. Eridanimidna is hosting a Draw This in Your Style of Tritania in celebration of having reached 500 followers that lasts until August 26th, so there is still time to join in. Speaking of Tritania, there is a little triangle of crushes going on between Tritonia, Grimeia, and another character. So, a tiefling named Darmer likes Grimeia, but Grimeia is interested in Tritania, and Tritania, I don't know what she's doing, living her best life, unbothered, being hydrated and staying in her lane, I guess. But in my drawing of Grimeia, I made a lot of sort of not so subtle nods towards Tritania and her design, with fin-like spikes and the addition of a more sea aqua green to her color palette. And I did let Eridani know that it was because I have a teeny tiny little headcanon that whenever Grimeia goes to get her armor updated or adjusted, she starts subconsciously picking more and more armor choices that she thinks will impress Tritania. And that is how we end up here at my fun little nicely rendered but mostly sketch, because I didn't erase any construction lines. Luckily, because of me drawing my sketches in red, combined with the fact that Grimeia has a very warm, very red color palette, it actually kind of works and almost looks like it was nicely rendered a little bit. Oh, also, this drawing in particular made me notice that I am not using bright eyeshadow or makeup nearly enough in any of my character designs. Are you kidding me? Merilith 100% would be doing a colorful cut crease every day. Why don't I draw my characters with makeup ever? Probably because I'm insecure about my own makeup skills in real life. Anyways, that brings us to the end of another super wonderful character design. Thank you again, Eridanimidna, for everything. The Cleo art, the character design, the kindness that you've shown me over the years. You guys, Eridanimidna is so nice, so talented. Do not forget to check out their Draw This in Your Style. If you're not already following them on ARTFIGHT and Instagram, please check out the links below, because you are seriously missing out on just a lovely human being in general. This second to last drawing is another thank you piece to another very lovely artist who has been in my comment section on my social media supporting me for a very long time, and who also made me this incredible gorgeous Cleo drawing during ARTFIGHT. It is SO-ChaoticSquidGod, who can also be found under the name Somewhat Chaotic Squid God, another very talented and underrated artist with incredible world building and some of the most gorgeous and organized Pinterest boards that I have ever seen in my entire life. So what I lack in rendering this piece, I try to make up for by drawing 3 of their beautiful characters. And besides, how could I resist a strong lady trio? Because we all know I'm partial to drawing women in groups of 3s. So from left to right, we have Eloise Velan, Etheria, and Lorrain Van Leeuwen. They all live in a place called Vleston, which is a dry stone desert where almost nothing grows besides the occasional bush. As you near the main city, large crystals growing out of the ground increase in numbers. These are markers, memorials for those who died fighting the Wendigo infestation that plagues Vleston. Starting on the left with Eloise, she is an alb, which in the world that Squid and her girlfriend have created is kind of similar to a drow from the Dungeons & Dragons franchise. Eloise is known as Lady Eloise Velen, head judge of the Royal Supreme Court of Vleston. She is very analytical and intelligent and greatly respected by the community, and she is also a well-loved socialite known for her sweet and playful nature. Many people speculate that Eloise is actually royalty from a foreign land. However, anyone brave enough to ask her for the truth will only get a sweet but vague smile as a response. Our center character character is Etheria, a Nephilim or half-angel, truly an ace icon who managed to pull not one but two incredibly financially secure and powerful women, which is not to say that Etheria is not also very, very powerful. Before she met Eloise or Lorrain, or even ever came to Vleston, she was in the military, where she was only considered as useful as the weapon that she was able to wield. After her time served in the military, she became hired muscle for a sorcerer who was tangled in some unsavory businesses. After he was killed, Etheria finally made her way to Vleston, where she met Lorrain and eventually Eloise. Now, all of these women are very strong and can end your life in a moment, but Lorrain specifically gives scary dog privilege vibes. She is the girl that you bring with you when you're taking a walk at night or in a busy place so that you don't get got. Lorrain's mother is also the demon lord of greed, and though Lorrain rejected her mother to go live a normal life and run a tailoring shop called the Devil's Tailor, Lorrain does have several inherited traits, including jealousy, selfishness, and greed. Now, that is not even close to the end of the lore. Somewhat Chaotic shared more of the dynamics between the three, how they all met, and more little details about their individual personalities, what they're like socially. But unfortunately, I am out of time, but you can read little snippets of how they met on Squid's ARTFIGHT page, which I will link along with other socials below. And I just wanted to say thank you to both her and her girlfriend for continuing to watch my videos and interacting with all of my content everywhere. You both are such genuinely kind people, and I'm so grateful that people like you exist in the world. Alright, so this last piece might feel a little bit more random, but there were three major deciding factors in choosing to draw Mango Sprango's Fish Sisters Betta and Delta. The first was just straight from my bookmarks of Revenges. Mango Sprango had drawn Fing for me, so I was just making sure that I got at least one more person who had attacked me this year to also get art back. The second reason was, I'm gonna be honest, I wanted to draw more fish. I love fish, and I've already said so in this video, and these are Betta Fish Sisters. Of course I wanted to draw more Betta Fish themed characters in honor of my own fishes. And the last reason was that Mango Sprango was one of the artists that met both of those criteria while also having a link in their profile so that I could contact him after the fact. The private messaging system on ARTFIGHT is perfectly fine, but a lot of artists kind of just log off at the end of July and don't come back on until next year, which is totally valid because I've done that too. But I just wanted to make sure that I was able to get a response before I planned to put this video out, and I did! Mango Sprango was very kind. They got back to me so fast, letting me know that I had permission to share their art, which is amazing and greatly appreciated. So meet Betta on the left and Delta on the right. They are two fish sisters who live in a place called Trash City, which is very much exactly what it sounds like, where the aquatic creatures gather the trash dumped in the ocean and use it to build cities and make clothing and just generally in their day-to-day lives. Mango Sprango specifically noted that Betta has a purse that is made out of a grocery bag and a rope, and Delta has a paper bowl as a hat and a fishnet jacket. And I don't mean like fishnet in the fashion sense, I mean literally fishnet, and I think that's adorable. I mean, very obviously it is not a good thing to dump trash in the ocean in real life, but in movies or video games like Another Crab's Treasure, it's a very visually fun design choice to make, and it also made for a really fun design challenge to make outfits made of various pieces of trash. I think my favorite detail is definitely the shirt that I put on Delta. I think it used to be like one of those reusable shopping bags or totes, and it's like, go green, recycle, but I very intentionally did have the R not visible and the L fading in honor of the reduce, reuse, ekiki, because I had to. I couldn't resist. But with that, the curtain closes on the very last drawing of this year's ARTFIGHT videos. Thank you again to Mango Sprango for giving me permission to draw these lovely characters. I had a ton of fun, and I know it's conflating someone else's characters with my previous pets, but it was very nice and very restoring, which After all of these new characters, I could not have imagined that I would consider my last drawing to be restoring, emotionally restoring. Physically, I am exhausted. But this video is not over. Once again, we are at my favorite part of the video, the last few attacks that I received this year. Number 1 is Tonic from PaperCatt, who drew me an amazing and sufficiently scrungly tonic, as all tonic art should be. It is such a specific thing to be fixating on, but I love the way that PaperCatt drew Tonic's joints, and I also love the red lighting and outlining, which adds such nice depth. Thank you so much, PaperCatt. Number 2 is also potion number 2 from IronDuck, continuing the revenge chain, but this time for Fing. Oh, look at that swirl. I'm so stinking excited. I don't have the potions yet as of recording this audio, but IronDuck was so sweet and offered to mail them to me, and I'm so excited. I know exactly where I'm going to put them, and I cannot wait to hold them in my hands. So thank you so much, IronDuck. Number 3 is another continuation of a revenge chain from CrowsofAutumn, who drew me a beautiful Enkoshi. They already made me a sick Xyola drawing that I shared in a previous video, and now look at my girl. She's so oblivious romance protagonist coded in this piece, and I mean that like in the best way. I love it. Thank you so much again to CrowsofAutumn. Number 4, we have a drop dead gorgeous Calliope piece drawn by CorruptedPage. I am obsessed with this art style and the formatting. It's so Art Nouveau and romantic and very shapy, plus adding the detail of a strawberry lining on the inside of her skirt is so cute and so in character. Thank you so very much, CorruptedPage. And for the very last piece of art that I received during ARTFIGHT 2024, we have another Calliope from Coffee Addict Artist, as it should be. As is correct. We began the season with receiving Calliope art, and so shall the season end with also receiving Calliope art. I adore the toothy brushes that Coffee Addict Artist uses, and I love the way the curls in her hair look. It is so beautiful. Thank you so very much, Coffee Addict Artist. And finally, we have completed the 2024 ARTFIGHT season. This compilation of characters is actually kind of insane. So much art received, so much art given. I basically doubled the number of attacks that I made on ARTFIGHT this year, and also my battle ratio has never been worse. But another ARTFIGHT has gone by, and we have another fantastic bunch of characters. I'm already looking forward to next year, for the most part. For now, I am going to go find my wrist brace, but it was amazing being part of Team Stardust. It really looked like we were winning, albeit just barely. However, the same thing happened last year, and Team Werewolves still won by a landslide. So I guess, as for whether or not I've finally broken my losing streak, well, who knows? Not me.